When Ray asked me if I would come here and talk, before I looked around Lithuania, I've been here for a week looking around. I was in Klaipėda, and you might have already explained this, Klaipėda, Kaunas, and Vilniuje. I didn't really know what to think, because I didn't exactly come here because I was trying to, you know, do something incredible. I came here because the people that I've worked with in Lithuania, well, they've become my friends, and because I enjoy working with them, and they have something that Americans kind of are forgetting, and you guys are in a pretty interesting spot because of this generation. I mean, you're coming out of one economic system, you know, and now you're in another economic system. And I think the opportunity for you guys is huge because there's so much talent in Lithuania, and there's so much entrepreneurial spirit. Like I see it more here than I actually do in America, and that freaks me out because I think what most people don't actually understand about entrepreneurialism, what it is. I mean, if you think about, I went to this place today, the broadcast, the TV tower, and I knew what it was about before I went there, like what it represents. But I wanted to save it for today before I came here, so that I can feel it, you know. So anyway, I took my project manager is Lithuanian. She lives in Sweden, but she's Lithuanian, and she helps me organize all the projects. She works with the people that I work with in Lithuania, and she works with the people, my team in America. I have about total about 18 people that I did for my company. So what I found pretty interesting about the TV tower is it has like a double meaning. Okay, so I know when you guys were trying to get independence from the Soviet Union, that this was the place that they were trying to get into because they wanted to control the messages that go out to people. And I know that a bunch of, well, 20 or so Lithuanians, or more, but at least 20 were killed trying to make a point to them not to you know, force their way in there. And what's interesting about that to me is how significant that really is, because it used to be when this was the way all the messages went out to, you know, the area, that if you controlled this, you controlled how everybody thinks, right? And so what I think now is that because of technology and the internet, like 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to work with a bunch of Lithuanians virtually and then come over and then meet them in person. Maybe I've been working with one of my programmers for like 3 years now, you know, and I brought him over to the United States, and Ray comes over as well. But really working with somebody virtually like that and getting to know a culture and working with somebody was impossible, you know, 20 years ago. You needed one of these to send a message to everybody. So what's significant about that to me, and I think we lose track of it. What those people were standing there and tanks were driving over them for, if you really think about it, in a communist economic system, what you actually don't have is the right to choose if you want to live good or if you want to live, you know, bad. And in an entrepreneurial and a capitalistic society, there are a lot of bad things about capitalism, you know, but what it actually is the right to choose what standard of living you want to have. And so those people actually got run over by a tank so you guys could be entrepreneurs. Or not, if you don't want to be, but to have that right, you know, to build something up and become wealthy or not wealthy. So as I was there today, I started, like, when I was looking at the names, I cried a little bit. I don't cry very often, but like I got emotional and I cried, and my project manager, she waited maybe 2 or 3 hours later on at lunch, and she asked me why did I get emotional, you know? And I said, it was kind of hard for me to explain. Part of it was, well, of course, those people actually gave their lives so you guys could sit here right now and listen to me talk about what I think is important about entrepreneurialism, you know, and having a business. But part of it was, you know, passion and respect for the sacrifice that they made for all of us, so I could even be here talking to you guys. But part of it was a big part of it was my sadness that America kind of is losing that. It's getting to be much harder there to be an entrepreneur. Everything is becoming much more socialist and much more, you know, and it's nothing compared to, I'm sure, what you know, Soviet Union was probably like, or you know, I don't know how China is because I've never been there, but it's still, I have to fight to be an entrepreneur. When I ask people here how much they make, very, very smart people, you know, and they tell me how much they make, I'm like, well, that's to me, that's like nuts, you know. And I don't say that because, well, they don't make a lot of money, but I think if they just knew this, what I'm getting ready to teach you guys, like I'm not going to show you the technical way to do it, but like I'm going to show you the process that we use. Like for instance, case in point, I was talking to a lady by the name of Inga today. Inga works for a travel, like a tourist agency, and she makes like, I think she said she makes in US dollars, it's like, I don't know, $800 a month, you know, so $900 a month. I can't remember, but it was low. And I told her, when I searched for what to do in Lithuania on the internet before I came here, I saw pictures of like beautiful women, like, you know, that's not what I wanted. I mean, that's great, don't get me wrong, but like, I wanted to know what I can do in Lithuania. So I was really looking for tourist stuff. So somebody went out and bought those, you know, built those domains up, and then is driving the traffic that they get from the domains into like, you know, stupid stuff. But if she was to understand how to, you know, buy ads and drive into a funnel and show people the opportunity that they can have, and then get them onto an email list and then market to them, she could make way more than $1,000 a month. Probably easy, probably $4,000 a month, even from Lithuania, just from American, just from, I don't know, all the other tourists, but just from people like me who come here. Easily double or triple what she makes, and not have to work. She's not really happy with her job because she's, you know, kind of in a box, right? This little presentation I'm going to give is about how I market the psychology of like selling something online. Well, anywhere actually. So I call this the island of opportunity, because what you have to do is, you know, always whenever you're trying to get someone interested in whatever it is that you have to offer, it doesn't really matter what it is. You can be selling a washing machine, it doesn't matter if it's trips, if you're showing them how to do better raising their children, doesn't matter. This, you have to present to them why this is an opportunity, you know? And this is important to you guys just in general, because I think, for me, Lithuania is an island of opportunity. Like I see the people that are here and one thing that's common to Lithuanians, it's not very common to Americans right now, is wanting to improve. Like whenever I ask somebody what they want to do, usually an American will go, okay, I want to be making like $500,000 by next year, I want this kind of car, that kind of car. Lithuanians say, I want to learn, I want to get better at what I do, basically I want to improve, right? So that's the kind of people that I want around, because I think, I'm just excited about, like, you know, getting to work here in Lithuania. So I'm going to walk through this real quick. The idea here is, in this equation, this is you, okay? And this is how, in any funnel, in any marketing funnel or selling situation, how we set up the process to get somebody in the right mind state to actually want to purchase something from you. The actual process goes, they're sitting there on Facebook, or whatever you guys have on Facebook. And then there's a little ads over there to the right side. Eventually maybe you click on one of them occasionally. What you want to do is you want to get them into a process that takes them through this story right here. Okay, so this is you. We'll call you Bill right now, because I never remember Lithuanian names. And Bill has something that he wants to offer. If he's smart, he knows about a thing that people need, okay? And if he really, really is interested in actually being successful as an entrepreneur, he should start with what people need, solving a problem for people, okay? So this is the potential person who might buy from Bill. We'll call him John. I don't actually have names for these, this is new. So John comes walking up to Bill and says, hey, introduces himself. Hi, I'm Bill, I do X, Y, Z, ABC, whatever. And he explains to him, in essence, basically what he does. Of course, at first, John is very skeptical. Yeah, whatever, right? The same process, all with video and text on the internet, you can push someone through this exact same process, and in the end, get them to actually purchase something. Or even just become your fan on Facebook. This process is exactly the same. It doesn't really matter what it is. do this. All right, so this right here is the thing that Bill has to sell, okay? It's a widget. It's a black box that does something. It doesn't really matter what it is. Over here on this big island, there are a bunch of people, okay? And on that island full of a bunch of people, as John probably knows, and as Bill will remind him, last month a bunch of mites got into the people on this island's shoes. So nobody over there has any shoes, none of them, because a little bug got into everybody's shoes. Now, Bill knows that a lot of people have heard this story, so he's going to tap into that to talk when he talks to people and say, you probably heard about this thing that happened over on the island where nobody has any shoes. I think we get down to the bug. Yeah, the bug. So nobody has any shoes. 10,000 people live over there. Absolutely, positively, none of them have shoes. So now Bill has told John this, and John goes, yeah, I heard about that. I think the bugs got in their shoes, right? So let's go back over to the mainland. This is him saying, yeah, I heard about it. So essentially, now he has set up in the mind of the person who he's trying to sell something to that there is this opportunity. That's why it's called the Island of Opportunity. So he's set up in the person's mind, yeah, I can see where nobody over there has any shoes. So what he says is, oh, by the way, I got this little box here, and this little box, if I hit this button on top of it, out will roll shoes. Imagine shoes coming out of here. They're not on there. So basically, he pushes the button, out roll the shoes. So John sees this and he goes, that thing makes shoes. This is what I'm saying right now is literally how you sell anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's a service, if you're selling food, it doesn't matter. As soon as you tell John, remind him about the island over there of all the people without the shoes, he sees the shoes coming out. He, of course, goes, people over there with no shoes. This guy's got a box that prints shoes, and this is the trick to the whole thing, and people miss this. John says to himself, wait a minute, how do I get the box? He automatically wants to know how the hell he can get his hands on this. So this guy didn't have to sell him on anything at all, because he set it up in his mind to understand that there's this need over there, and I have a thing that will fulfill that need, right? So, kind of go through this. Basically then, he walks through how it works. He shows how if you push this button, women's shoes will come out, or the color will change, men versus women, the type of shoe. And at the end of the conversation, John wants what Bill has to offer. So the entire process is exactly, without question, precisely how I sell anything. So if somebody comes to me and they say, I'm someone who helps people learn how to be an entrepreneur. I coach people on how to be a better entrepreneur. I say, okay, so what can we find out in the news right now about how many opportunities there are for entrepreneurs in the whatever place they're from, Florida, United States, wherever. Then we show them all the stats of all the people who are interested in being entrepreneurs, and then the conversation goes to, this is how you could sell this. This is exactly how you could sell it. And at the end of the day, all it really takes is setting it up in their mind that you have a way to help them get over to that island and get those shoes over there. And once you show them that there is an opportunity, that you have a thing that will fulfill the opportunity, and that you have a way for them to get that thing to the people who need whatever that thing is, just like that, you're done.